Alright, so welcome again. In this particular puzzle, black is to move, and the question is black equal, worse, or better? And are we going to be playing rook d to d7? Or are we going to be playing rook take e5? So we have two choices here. Off the bat, I would say that black really has got to be worse. Unless rook take e5 has some sort of tactical follow-up that works out well for black, I would say black has got to be worse. This bishop is just so well placed, and the knight on h8 is so poorly placed that it's really difficult to imagine that black isn't worse. I would hate to play this position as black. Maybe there's something there, but just on principle, this bishop and the pawn over here just look strong. So anyway, rook d to d7. Let's consider that first. And I'm wondering immediately if there's some sort of a knockout blow. I don't think there is a knockout blow. Rook d to d7 seems to kind of hold things together. Obviously, if the rook moves somewhere, then I've got my queen and my bishop coming together on g7, but I don't see a follow-up. The rook d d7 really helps kind of tie things together there, which is a bit annoying. But what you gonna do? Rook d d7. I guess one thought I have is maybe I just swing this rook over, play rook f5, and then I'm looking to play rook to f8, which looks pretty brutal, but after rook d d7 and then rook f5, it looks like maybe rook f7 is playable. I don't see a mate or something like that. I mean, I trade on f7, and then he can play rook takes back, and not quite landing a knockout blow of any sort. Yeah, I don't see it. It looks good, but I don't see it. I mean, rook d d7 seems to kind of hold on for black, but I gotta like white. I mean, alternatively, instead of rook f5, maybe I just swing this other rook over, support my first rook. Just have a really dominating position here. You know, the knight's really trapped. It can't come out because I could just trade on e7 and then I can mate on g7, so that's not going to work. So rook here. Maybe then he trades on e5, and I probably recapture back with the rook, and then he comes back with the other rook back to e7, and again, I don't see the knockout blow. One thing that's really kind of annoying me, it's funny, I'm playing black, but I'm really looking for knockouts for white. I feel like it's almost a process of elimination problem where white's position looks like it's close to a knockout, and so I'm really looking for the knockout blow for white. Even though I'm playing black in this position, I'm really looking for something for white. And this knight is both terribly, terribly placed all the way back here on h8 and annoyingly placed, because back here on h8 it keeps control of g6 and f7, and that's really proving to be an important resource for black. So, let's see, other ideas. I don't know, so let's take a look at rook take e5 then. So after rook take e5, I don't think that as white I want to trade queens with queen take e5, bishop take e5. I would think, I mean, I'm hitting this pawn on c7 with the bishop, but it looks like maybe rook d7, and I don't see another way through. I don't see a follow-up. It looks good for white, but what? What's next? I don't know. I don't see it. It looks good, but I don't see it. Maybe rook f8, and you just come over to c8, and you're doing pretty well. But I don't know. Maybe after rook takes, queen takes, queen takes, rook d7, then the knight's going to come over here, and then it's not so clear. The knight's well placed in some places. It can maybe jump here to g5. Maybe it gets over to d4, becomes sort of a Berlin in-game style knight. Could be annoying. Okay. Rook take e5, bishop take e5 seems more critical. Doubling up on the pawn on c7 seems like a good idea. There's also mate here on g7. Oh, so rook take e5, bishop take e5 just loses. Rook take e5, bishop take e5, you gotta hit on g7 and you gotta hit on c7 and you're losing a pawn. So black has to play rook d7 and then it's okay. But he can't play rook take e5, bishop take e5, allowing this fork on c7 and g7. Well, this is the first problem that I've completely missed. I didn't see anything. I was correct that black's position is much worse, which is worth a point from the authors, but I completely missed that rook d to d7 is just sort of blown out of the water by queen take g7 check, which is very nice, and I didn't see that at all. And so rook take e5 is the better move, and it was played in the game, but still black lost in the game. So on the one hand, this maybe isn't a great problem because you're choosing between two continuations that both probably lose, but one certainly loses, and I didn't see any of that at all here with rook d d7, queen take g7 check. But on the other hand, it's really quite a nice problem because there's some really good subtleties in here, and things are just much more difficult for white after the better rook take e5, b take e5, rook d7, bishop takes e7, which I saw, but I forgot that there's also queen take h5 at the end of that, and so black is able to kind of muddy the waters a little bit and certainly get a better position than the way that I recommended.